I got the body from Jim Millis, but I can't.
Whole shit working. Hey. Yeah.
Told her make a story. I just bought all the Trojan. I told her stop.
Man, what the fuck? It always be tripping like that.
What happened?
Man, it always be tripping. Hey, what up? C-Mac.
This LB.
It's Watts. You know the motto. If you like us, raise your hands. If you don't like us, raise your standards.
And we're the Four Kings podcast. And if you notice to the left of myself or to the right of what you're looking at, yes, we are short one member today. He had an issue going on, but we sent our condolences, we sent our prayers, and he's taking care of his business. Salute to Alvin.
Shout out to Alvin.
See you next week.
My boy.
We're going to keep the spot nice and warm for you.
Yeah, but no farting and stuff on it.
All right. So basically, it's been a lot of stuff going on locally. It's been a lot of stuff going on. Man, it just in the last few days. So I don't know if y'all know, but did y'all get a chance to hear the story about the Uber driver in Chicago?
Nah, but you better tell us.
Yeah, you damn right. So the Uber driver in Chicago, white guy driving Uber, and he saw a bad car accident. Well, what ended up happening was these two black guys were rushed to the hospital.
Yeah.
And basically they were rushed to the hospital because they got shot in a drive-by. So they was trying to get to the hospital, had a car accident. Dude was in the backseat bleeding out and everything. And the dude was like, hey, put him in the car. Let's go. And so he drove him to the hospital. The dude actually survived.
Oh, man.
And they tried to give him $5,000 to help, offset the cost of him, the bleeding in the car and everything like that. He turned around and gave the money back to him. He said, look, I know you got kids and everything. Go ahead and, you take care of that. The $5,000 is for you. And you gotta have medical bills and everything else. And I was like, dang.
That's deep.
That boy, I'm talking about the one time they say that humanitarianism is dead, or being a good Samaritan, right, is dead, bro. It surfaced and showed itself.
I mean, the thing is, it's good people out here. You know what I'm saying? It's just that what they show is not always good people. You know what I'm saying? Like what they broadcast to us. I mean, we have more in common than we have divisive towards each other, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, purple, I don't care. We have more in common than we do differences. But people tend to hone on what we have, differences. And that's what keep us, divided.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Just, not as just a culture, but just as people, as a nation, just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, we still all want the same things. We all want the same goals. We all want to, get married and have money and family, kids, whatever, white picket fence. We all kind of want those things. But I think the mentality of how we're going to go about getting it is one thing that kind of separates us, and how we achieve those things is also a barrier for not only us as a race, but just as other people as well.
God, that was so eloquently said. I just got to commend you on how you said that. So,
well, I got a public education, but at times it tends to, I do a little thing.
I hear you. So, but to make a point, yeah, you're absolutely right. Being a good Samaritan isn't dead. Chivalry isn't dead, and these things still.
Yeah, we still open up doors for old ladies. You know what I'm saying? Walk grandmas across the street. Feed the pigeons in the parking lot.
And Watts be peeking at them grandma's booties. That's what he be doing.
That's a bad business.
Hey, no. He be in there for them sugar mamas, Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hell, you seen Melinda Gates this week? She was getting it in.
Man, Melinda Gates.
I mean, but if you was gifted $1.8 billion, wouldn't you get it into?
Hey, bro, look here. If I would have $1.8 billion, we ain't gonna talk about what I would do. Because it was a guy that won the lotto. They asked this guy a few years ago. I wasn't even here. It was some other state. He said, what are you going to do if you win the lotto? Cocaine and hookers. Not to say that that's what I would do, but I'm just saying.
So that's my question. What would you do?
Well, what I would do is I would give back to the black community, because, Black Lives Matters isn't.
I'm in the black community.
But you're just one person in the black community. I want to make sure that this seed gets spread. So
I got enough seeds out there. So
you got 2. Okay, and hopefully it's not 2 and a maybe. Hopefully we ain't playing. We ain't playing spades. 2 and a maybe.
I got a possible. Hey, shout out to Shamans, man. What's up, boy? You know what I'm saying?
Salute.
Taranika was good. Where's the 4th king?
We already explained. We ain't got to go back into it. It's probably a delay. So another thing that happened this week is that 50 Cent moved to Houston, bro.
You know what? It's been a long time coming. He should have been here.
I mean, but that's pretty much everybody. Why not? But I mean, it's too many people on I-10 as it is.
Facts. I-10 is a train wreck waiting to happen.
I mean, at least they fixed 290 now.
No, they're fixing 290.
You're fixing.
They still fixing it? Nah, I thought it was done.
It ain't done. Because you know
what they got to do?
Expanding. What up, Samantha? Happy Cinco de Mayo to you.
Hey, we got to get cultured, you know what I mean? So that just shows our diversity, you know what I mean?
And real nigga shit, y'all know what Cinco de Mayo was about?
We listening.
Okay.
You're going to tell us anyway.
Yeah, you damn right.
Well, I don't teach history.
You're right, but what you do teach, probably they ain't going to use it no way. But anyway.
So you mean to tell me engineers didn't build this laptop?
You struggle with what this was, right?
I mean,
you had to figure out it was a laptop.
Did Cinco de Mayo build this laptop?
It might have been. You know, it might have been some Hispanics that built this laptop.
Okay, we're gonna scratch that racist comment.
No, I'm just saying. Hey, they take a lot. They do a lot of different jobs, bro. So, oh, you not Mexican, huh? Oh,
well, no, she's not.
Cinco de Mayo to everybody anyway. But basically, what it was that it was the day that the Mexican beat the French.
Yeah,
in 1862,
and got the independence.
No, they were already independent before that, but they had a battle, and that's what they celebrate.
Okay,
beat them at that fort. So, she Puerto Rican. She okay. I ain't gonna touch on that. I'm gonna let that sizzle in your spirit. So I definitely can call you Boricua, right? I was about to. She just said it. Boricua,
Olela, Boricua. Hey.
So if we talking about, you say we talking about Bill Gates,
yeah,
and his wife,
which they got a divorce.
Am I not noticing all these billionaires getting divorced?
Oh hell yeah!
I thought they said it was cheaper to keep them.
I mean, in that case, no, it's not.
In that case, it's definitely not. But I don't think they had. Did they have any kids together?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
They got no Gates Juniors around this moment.
Was she with him shooting in the gym?
I don't know if she was with him shooting in the gym. That's a good question.
So. You got, and then like Jeff Bezos, he got divorced a little while back.
Yeah,
and we already know what that was, but more power to him. I mean, hopefully they find happiness.
She cashed in and married a teacher. I mean, start dating a teacher.
Well, damn. So what y'all think about the move with 50 Cent moving to Houston? You think it's going to bring more jobs to Houston? You think it's going to... Because
it can.
Because 50 is an entrepreneur. Or as we like to say in our community, he's an entrepreneur.
Okay. Okay.
Shout out to Dame.
I mean, with 50 moving to Houston, I think it makes no fucking difference.
I mean,
he does help a lot, but I mean...
He going to help with the damn traffic.
I mean, no, he can't help with the traffic.
No, I mean, he's going to help bring more traffic because now he's here. Wherever he go, people going, 50 Cent.
I don't know, the last couple 50 shows didn't really sell out like that.
But 50 can still... I mean, you watch Power. What's the other show he got? What's the other show he got?
I never really actually got into Power.
I'm gonna tell you this about Power. Like, I fuck with Power, and it was good, but I didn't get into it until Hurricane Harvey, when we were stuck in the house for like a whole week. And at that time, I think Power was on like season 3. And like for me, if a show is already going on, I don't want to like. If it's already like so many seasons ahead of me, I'll be like, man, fucking, I ain't gonna watch it. But
bro, that's the best time to watch it. Because see, if it's already got 2-3 seasons in, that means that it's still getting ratings and still getting traction. So it's the best time to jump in and get caught up, binge watch.
Which is
you and your lady sit up and baby, just gone.
Right.
That's how I found out about Ozark. That's how I found out.
Ozark.
what's the other joint? Snowfall.
Snowfall, yeah.
Boy, and I saw it in the beginning, and I just fell off.
But you know, like social media tell you, oh, this going. You see all the memes and stuff, and you can't relate to it. Like, man, what the hell talk about? You know what I'm saying? And whatever. And then, like I said, time. You know, life happened, and then when life happened, you look up and okay, boom, I'm 3-4 seasons behind.
Right.
But each season, like 10 episodes. And I mean, I guess I just never made that idle time available. So that's on me. You know what I mean? But when I'm usually behind that, I'd be like, it is what it is.
Wow. Really, Watts? Really? That's your friend right there talking about 50 Cent, but Ja Rule, right?
But I mean, you got the point. I would say 50 ain't changing nothing. He ain't.
Well, no, because he's okay. So one of the reasons why he's moving down there is because he's supposed to be starting this production with I can't remember the name of the production company, but they're supposed to be talking about like women drug lords and like doing seasons of that and just highlighting that. And he was gonna start cast calling, and basically with him being here, we got first dibs. So I mean, I think it's gonna give a lot of people an opportunity to be able to step into that acting.
And the acting's gonna be
right.
And I guess they're gonna be using Houston as a platform.
And I can see the money grab being behind that, if you will, because I mean it's gonna generate revenue. People gonna come to the city.
They really want to give Houston credit. That's on GTA.
Bro, they talked about doing the
they
GTA.
Talked about
I seen it,
but then on GTA.
But then they said that the dude, whoever the character's gonna be, is gonna be eating crawfish and.
I mean, either that, he goes when you get on the game and try to drive to the north side, you're gonna be waiting 45 minutes on the game.
Exactly.
you get on GTA thinking you finna drive to the north side, mission on the north side. You gonna be working that bad boy for 4 days.
You're gonna be on 45 stuck. Shout out to the north side though.
And then what they gonna tell you? Oh, the mission is at Greens Point Mall. Oh, we fucked. I'm sorry, we screwed. The mission's at Greens Point Mall. They don't even have a mall right now.
What is it? I think they do got a mall, bro.
I mean, it's better than what was that? What's Charlestown now?
Plaza
Americas.
Yeah. So enough of that. So the other thing that that happened was I know y'all didn't know about this. I just happened to be scrolling and finding it. So 2 dudes in right, Dwayne. I mean Dane, my bad. Right, Dane. They want to take our swag and don't want to give us credit. You right.
I mean
they want to take our trip. You know what I'm saying?
It's been like this for a long time. I mean, think about Screw. Think about, people drinking syrup and putting diamonds in their mouth and, swangers and all that stuff. I mean,
is the place to be.
It's about time we get recognized.
I mean, technically.
Yeah, we've been recognized.
I mean, we've been recognized, but then they be selling us short sometimes.
So the other thing that happened was over there in the parking lot of the Improv, it was a couple that got caught in the car, if you will. Yeah. That went viral for a little hot second.
Oh, yeah, I missed that.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you why you missed it. And you probably wouldn't even, try to go find it if you wanted to, because it was 2 men. That's what it was. The security guard got him in the car.
Yeah, I missed that one.
I'm glad I missed that one. Don't send that.
Exactly.
Don't send that. Yeah.
So yeah, and he bust up on. He's like, I got a call about a couple in the car, and he wrote, "Oh, it's 2 dudes. Oh, hey guys, you need to get a room."
Oh, all right.
That's crazy.
That would have made me call off the night of. Okay, I'm done.
Let me patrol the other side of you know what I'm saying?
Gotta go home now. My goldfish drowned. I just seen that.
Damn. So another thing that happened is I don't know if y'all know about this chick. Her name was Junkie Trump. Okay.
What?
Junkie Trump. She like out of Georgia, right?
Okay.
Her son was an aspiring rapper. And in order to help boost his song, she was junking the trunk on social media, if you will.
Okay.
So thoughts about that? Like she was
so. That is so. First of all, the black community.
Say what you got to say, my boy.
It's just, man, it's just. I look at the world today, and it's just like, it's tragic. It's tragic because I'm like, first of all, why would you have your mother in a video?
No, it wasn't. So she went live, and you know how a lot of these Instagram models, they'll, in order to promo a song or something like that, they'll be dancing to the song and stuff like that. She literally was bent over, popping that thing, and you know,
Still, yeah.
and they attacked her son.
Wait, so he's the rapper, right?
Yeah, he the rapper.
And to get some sales or hits or whatever,
to continue to grow to reach. Because think about it. Now you gonna listen because you basically exactly what Dane said. Mama, I need to get my views up. Come shake with what Grandpa gave you.
I mean,
to me, that family reunion would be the same.
If that ain't some support, I can't tell you what it
That's
is.
some Kentucky type stuff. I mean, no offense to anybody from Kentucky, but
I think I got you off the ground.
Right. And so then not only that,
Yeah.
And to say that you know, it ain't just black people. White folks do it too. Because there was a guy in England, his name was like Dwayne Darte. It was last name was Darte. Anyway, he started his mother's OnlyFans, and he was upset that she ain't cut him in on the proceeds because he helped start the page.
I mean, with a name like Darte, that sounds like the whole family is messed up.
Darte.
I mean, that's,
Hey, and you're right, Samantha. Moms are young these days, but at the same time, it's a certain level of class that your mother's supposed to have. And what happens often is women have kids when they're young, and then two things will happen. Either they'll get that mommy makeover, and then when they get the mommy makeover, it's game over. Like you just hang it up. It's gonna be hot girl summer for them for the next 10 years.
Right.
So, but a lot of them will raise their kids, and then they will turn around and be like, I live my life. It's time for me to do me. And they and rightfully so. But at the same time, it was some things that they missed out on because they were being a parent, a responsible parent. And all of them ain't responsible parents, so let's just get that out the way. But if they were being a responsible parent, they feel like it's certain aspects of their life that they missed out on. So they going back and trying to relive this.
Right.
So
they living.
Yeah, she living.
so he needs to sit down somewhere. If you done missed that gravy train, it's a wrap. Like, no, you know, I don't see it happening.
So yeah, and he's like a model too, so it wasn't bad or nothing like that. So,
but I mean, his last name said screw up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if you rearrange your letters, you get screwed up.
Got you. And so another thing that happened today, this was today, and we were talking about this, that prayers go up. I don't know if anybody was on that 18-wheeler that got stuck on the railroad tracks in Richmond, Texas. And yeah, the train ran right through the 18-wheeler. It's been all over Channel 2 News. It's been all over the internet. So prayers go up. Hopefully everybody made it out safe in that situation.
Yeah, and apparently the 18
hit the
trailer.
Hit the trailer
right,
part,
so
right. But you don't know.
I mean, you don't know what was in the trailer.
Right. It could have been somebody being smuggled. It could have been a bunch of things. So who knows?
Could have been somebody being. So to get into the topic today, you know what I'm saying, I want to talk about something that not just, I mean, it affects every community. So we don't want to make it seem like it's just, you know, a black community. But, you know, we want to talk about how when you're 18, did your mom just tell you, get out the house? You know what I mean? Like, and you just left as a young adult with really no direction, no money, you know, fitting for yourself. Hey, I did my you did 18 years here at the house, get out. You know, how does that affect someone's psyche, for one? Are you setting them up for failure? Are they prepared to be out the house at 18 years old? Because oftentimes people may not even be ready to be out the house at that time because, you just graduated from high school. If you were smart enough, you just graduated from high school. Some people still in high school at 18, 19, but that's another topic. So, we just want to talk about that, like, and, share some personal experiences. So why you go ahead and start with yours. Like, so was the directive from your parents, hey, when you get 18, you on your own, and how did that make you feel if that happened? And then, as a father, what advice would you give to your children, and what's your thing is when they turn 18?
Okay, first of all, I want to say this. I have the greatest parents in the world. Because
shout out to Mama Watts.
And
Daddy Watts.
If they watching, I think I have the greatest parents in the world. And Christmas time, my spending limit should be no less than $100 for both of y'all. Thank you. So, but getting into the topic, I mean, technically, my parents never put me out at 18. It was always, my parents was always understanding. You can always go back for help. Anytime I needed my parents, they were there. Yeah. Great parents, awesome parents. I'm thinking about my Christmas gift. So these are awesome parents. These are two loving people. I can keep going on because my Christmas gift value gonna go up. So I never really got kicked out at 18. My point is that with me at 18, I wasn't listening like I was supposed to.
Okay, so you was a rebel.
Yeah. I was what?
A rebel.
Not a rebel.
Okay.
I was a nice, honest citizen who made A's and B's.
I was a degenerate.
Ooh, that's a lot of syllables right there.
That's pretty harsh. I think the problem is a lot of times kids want to be on their own so bad.
Yeah.
It's technically not the parents, but in the black community or in other communities, it's technically not the parents. The average kid could go back to his parents' house.
You think so?
Yeah. The only ones that don't really be able to go back are the ones that don't listen to shit.
Like you.
I mean, I technically didn't. I listened, but sometimes I put my own spin on it. If I'd have been listening to my parents, like when they told me save certain amounts of money to do this, I'd have been well off. But that's the problem with adolescents in general. You at that stage, you were not trying to hear nothing. When you see,
I mean, the thing is, you think you're smarter than your parents because once you feel like you reach a certain level and then you start disagreeing with them and you start questioning the decisions that your parents make, now you feel like they don't have your good intentions. And that's where I think the disconnect comes from because, once, your parents tell you to do something, you don't understand why. Because, when they get to that inquisitive age, they want to start asking questions like, well, why I got to do this? Why I got to do that? And this don't make sense to me. And then you start having your own kind of logic and things like that. And I think, around your teenage, adolescent years and things like that, that's when that rebellious comes out, and then it comes out in a lot of different forms.
I mean, that's true. That's your, but then at the end of the day, at that age,
yeah,
you're not only listening to your parents, listening to your friends too.
Yeah,
that's the thing that makes a bigger difference.
That circle.
Because
come on now,
you looking at your friends and you thinking, dang, my friend, he get to go hang out. He got his own apartment. You know what I'm saying? He get to chill every day, and I got to come here.
And your friend got his own apartment. How old were they?
I mean, 18, 19. We all know at 18, 19, we had one friend that had their own apartment. Or live with
at
their
least
brother.
one.
Yeah, they all live with their older brother, and it was like almost like a free for all then too. So I'm just saying that at that age, you seen everything around you, and at that age, your mama telling you, hey, don't bring that little nappy headed girl over here,
right?
And you don't want to listen.
Or them late night phone calls, remember them?
Yeah, well, only late night phone call I got was we had a little vacation Bible school and we still saying scriptures. But at that age, and it's like you see life not in real life. You see just what you want to see. Television.
Right.
As a kid, you see what's best for me, what I think is fun, not what's best for my life. Your parents see what's best for your life.
I'm gonna wait on what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let y'all have the floor right now, because boy, when I get on this soapbox.
I mean, this floor is all yours, my boy.
Because he was making some valid points. I want to
continue,
but don't forget to give a shout out to Dane. Dane around the time about he 27 and when he was 18 and we damn near 40, so the experience is different.
I mean, with the age difference, and shout out to Dane, my boy. That's Dane, my boy. But like, what the difference is, he grew up in a different era because he's 27. He's like 10 years out. We're 10 years his senior.
Right.
So it was a lot of different dynamics growing up. He grew up in the phase of technology. We was getting introduced to technology. Like I didn't have my first cell phone, so I was about 17. And that's almost asinine right now because I
was about 17 times.
Yeah. I started working at K Roger, and that's when I first got mine. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I'm lying. I had a cell phone before that. I had a prepaid. I had a prepaid phone with Singular when Singular was.
I had a phone called U Mobile.
That's when your minutes rolled over.
Yeah, no. The minutes wasn't rolled over. I had prepaid minutes then, fam.
But I had a prepaid phone when the minutes rolled over.
I had free after 9. And I would avoid calls until 9 o'clock. Hey, hit me at 9. Click.
They was encouraging us to be freaks back then, though. If you think about it, think about it.
In the blue heck is that, bro.
And all after 9, you know exactly what's happening.
You forgot. Look what we talking about. You at your parents' house. So there's not much you can do.
So living at our parents' house, you know exactly what the move was when we couldn't bring you to the house.
And what was that move, sir?
For the sake of, let me make sure my dad not looking. Okay, so for the sake of that, no.
No, but what I was saying though, what I was saying was, I think Dane's experience, since he's 27, his experience growing up in 18 is totally different, from our experience. Like, and Watson, are you done? Because I can go into my experience.
Go ahead.
So basically, with my experience is like, all I knew is that, hey, when you get to 18, you need to do something. It ain't say move out. You need to do something. You know what I'm saying? That was clearly communicated, whether it was school, work, something. I can't just be there, not doing anything. Okay. And if I was there not doing anything, then I need to figure it out on my own. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't it wasn't something like a tough love per se or nothing like that. It was just more so that's like, hey, you've been there for 18 years. I hope you figured out something, whether it was school, Navy, Army,
you should have picked up something that was dropped down at that time.
Yeah, something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was at the yard, shout out to TSU, so I did that, and life take you different ways, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure things out. But no, I was never kicked out the house. But if I wasn't doing anything, like no school, like after graduate, no school, no job, no nothing, no military, it probably or could have went down that route. Unfortunately, it did not. You know what I'm saying? Because I was, again, I was in school, and I was working at the bank at that time. So
what I can speak to Alvin's, because like I said, we grew up together.
Okay.
And Samantha hit it on the head when she said what she said in the comments. Alvin was 18 and paying bills in his house, and that's what prompted Alvin more or less to move out, because it's like, shit, if I'm helping pay bills, I might as well pay my own bills.
Let me intervene.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I was 16 paying bills. I was working at K Roger. That was my first job.
What is K Rogers? I don't even know what that is.
That's Kroger.
Oh, K Rogers.
So anyway, I was at K Roger. That was my first job, and I worked at the one off of South Post Oak. I used to catch the 33. I was actually working there with my homeboy AJ. Shout out to AJ. And I felt proud of them little $125 checks. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was on top of the world. So my mom was like, "Yeah, let me get 40 on that." I'm like, "Whoa, 40." I think that's where the 40 came from. Damn. But now, so yeah, man. That's when I ended up getting my first phone, because I was actually working, and that's what I, growing up, that's what I saw. I saw, both parents working, so you need to get your job. I got a job at Kroger. Yes, I was helping with bills and things like that, and sometimes when you have that type of responsibility as a young person, you can't feel like, well, I could do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? So, eventually, yeah, I did move out, so it wasn't at 18, but it was a couple of years after that. But like, if you already paying these bills and things like that, then you start hitting them stressors at a younger age. Now, of course, it teaches you responsibility, but then sometimes I think about like, well, what if I didn't have that responsibility? How things would have happened?
Because you also got to remember, this is back in the game before direct deposit was a big thing. So you used to get that check, and you didn't have no whip. So who was it that was probably taking you to go cash that check? Your T. Jones, your pops, or whoever. And so they knew how much you was getting when you was cashing the check.
Man.
So now you couldn't just sit up here and say, "Oh, my check was only this amount," because your money was probably going to the water bill if you was paying $40. I can see that realistically being that's what you paid. And if things got a little tight or whatever, ran short, then yeah, I can see that happening too. Because I know, like, I seen Alvin write mom a check one time, and I was like, I said, well, yeah, I mean, I'm just helping out, just yada yada yada. So it's just like you just get you experience that, and then it's like, well, shit, I might as well. I'm not ready to move out totally on my own, but that's how a lot of people end up roommating and doing other stuff like that.
So Samantha said she left at 18. I was paying bills at my mama's house and still had rules, so I bounced. Okay, makes sense. But as a mother, I will support my children, and I ain't kicking them out. But I will tell my kids to go to school, military, work. See, that was kind of like my mom. Like, my parents, like, hey, I ain't saying you got to get out, but you're gonna have to do something while you still here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in essence, I was supporting household too. Like I said, I was paying like, some of the light bills, something, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't just get no free checks, But other people have different perspective as far as like, hey, when my child gets a job, will I let them save their money, or will I let them help, pay bills? So how do y'all feel about that being fathers?
My thing is,
so basically, you asked that question, and then I'd have to come back. I'll have to come back because it's a multitude of different things that I'm gonna answer when I say what I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Wes.
I mean, what my thing is with that, I mean, it's kind of hard per se, because you gotta look at the family as a whole. And the way I say that is because when your child is 18, opposed to your child being 7, but your child is 18, and think about it. I think about it as, I look at it through my perspective. Yeah, I can save my money. I can say if I'm 18, I can save my money. But at the same time, my parents are older now. At the same time, as a child, why shouldn't I at least offer to help out? I mean, I can still save as much money as I can, but at the same time, the 18 years they took care of you won't hurt you the next 10 years you trying to help them out. Or I just do a number out there. I see no problem with a parent saying, hey, well, at least help out. Because for at least 18 years, in certain households, they were struggling.
Right.
You wasn't getting the Jordans every time. You might have looked up,
right,
but you wasn't getting everything. They made sure you was taken care of, but you wasn't getting everything you wanted. You got everything you needed. So I look at it as, that it's like different levels to it, because it's not like the average family don't have that generational wealth where, certain families be like, oh, well,
save your money,
go to school.
Yeah.
I know I'm the father with $300,000 in the bank, and I'm paying for your schooling. I'm paying for the this and that. So you save your money, and then on top of that, when you do graduate, I'm gonna give you $20,000 to go get you a goddamn house or whatever you want to get. Right. I know the average family doesn't have that realistically. So I don't see any problem with, now as far as my kids, when they grow up, I want them to do the best, succeed in life. I'm gonna do whatever I can as a father to make sure they succeed. Now, when it comes to them, I will sit them down and say, hey, kind of like how my parents taught me. It's like, if you can afford to help out. And I kind of agree with the whole thing with parents. You're not gonna sit at home and do nothing, but because if you start looking at this generation, that's a lot that's going on now. Kids are sitting at home doing nothing, absolutely nothing, and they okay with it.
So here's why I gotta chime in and talk about full validity and full range of everything. So first and foremost, as Black people, we have a issue in our culture where we want to put our children out at 18 years old. And the reason being is because nothing more, nothing less than you're 18 and that's like the stamp of approval. You've grown. You got to have some kind of game plan, some kind of direction that your life is going in. But if you're going to stay in this house, you're going to work 2 jobs. And if you're working 2 jobs, that's going to allow you to be able to move out. You know what I'm saying?
So you would tell them to work 2 jobs at 18?
No. So this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A lot of our people, and this is the truth, we will sit up here and we will tell our kids that if you're 18, you need to get out. And if you're not going to follow the rules and do this, then the third, you need to get out. But if you do decide to stay, if you're not going to go to school, if you're not going to do something better yourself, you're going to work at least 2 jobs. And the reason why, see, it's a method behind that too. If you work in 2 jobs, you don't have time to get caught up in the extra stuff. Even if you had 2 part-time jobs to make 1 full-time job. So now you got enough money to be able to, okay, I can help out. I can also do what I need to do and take care of my business and then eventually move myself out the house.
I mean, but that's your perspective. But what about from the child's perspective? Because we're not considering how they would think.
That is the stigma in the community. Because if you look at it.
Did you grow up paying bills?
No, I didn't pay bills in my house.
Okay, so
like my mom may ask me for some money every now and then.
But see, I did.
And you know, once again, I grew up with my mom and my dad. So
and at that time for me, when I grew up,
I'm the oldest of 6.
I'm the youngest.
So
and like, you know, growing up, like paying bills at that time, it was hard to understand, and I didn't like it. It made me be kind of rebellious because I'm like, why I got to pay a bill? This is my money that I'm earning. And yes, you can say, oh, well, you live here, you do this, you do that. But it's like.
But I'm going to tell you what that taught you. There's a very valuable lesson. Nothing in life is free. Nothing. There's no free rides anywhere. And if you do have a free ride, the free ride runs out to an extent. And that's the whole reason that's what they're trying to place in our lives as parents, when that's what they're teaching us. But at the same time, you have the white people, you have the Asians, you have the Hispanics who, as a culture, they will keep their kids, they will let them stay home to keep an eye on them, to make sure that they are moving in a direction that they need to. And if they fall in tough times, they can always fall back. Because see, this is stuff that I've heard and moving those different circles that I move in. You know, a lot of white people will help if their kids got to go to school because they didn't get a scholarship and they had to take out student loans. They will help their kids pay off their student loans and then network and then help their kid get their first job. So they'll get their first job making 50, 60K out the gate, staying at home, stacking their money, helping pay these student loans down. And by the time they get ready to move out, they financially, they have what we always are trying to attain: financial freedom. They don't have their credit straight because they didn't pay their student loans. They didn't have any excess bills or anything like that. So they start out with a clean slate. Hispanics, a lot of them will group up in a house and trap it out and pitch money in and work together and until everybody can come up. So what I'm looking at is that it's a disparity in our culture in doing that. Like, I would consider myself to be an anomaly because I literally moved out of my parents' house and they moved in my grandparents. And so my grandparents helped me get to that next point and they paid it forward. But then it was also to the point where I did have to get to a point where I was doing there were certain requirements that they required of the house because the certain values that they were trying to instill in me and certain things that they wanted to see me do and certain things that they wanted me to mature into. And so you have to be able to understand that. You don't understand it. And it's just like this. When you're in the eye of the storm, you never understand anything. Once you get through that storm, you're like, dang, That's what they was trying to show me. That's what they was trying to teach me. But my perspective is I don't plan on pacifying either of my children, my son or my daughter. I don't plan on pacifying either one of them. I believe they need to know the value of $1. They need to know the value of hard work, but they also need to know that this free ride is contingent upon you following the rules that we have set forth here in this house. And yeah, because you turn 18, I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient on you, but at the same time, it's certain areas where I'm gonna tighten up at because I'm gonna protect you here in this house. That world, when you go outside these doors, they're not gonna protect you. So we have to be able to protect our children if we really want them to be, because a lot of times when people are taken advantage of is because they didn't have a support system to fall back on and ask questions to or get them out of a jam. Hell, I got finessed out of like $2,000 up here at the Toyota. What was it? Toyota dealership or no, the Honda dealership right here off 59. And my mom went up there and got my money back because it's like, because they didn't really do anything, but you trying to be young, you trying to take care of it, do it on your own. That's a prime example of it's a lot of game that's given out for free, but then it's a lot of game that you got to buy. So why put yourself in a position to buy that game when you can get it for free? Because them hard knocks, they ain't lying. It's hard knock life.
Right.
Okay. When we go back to the stigmatism of just
not stigmatism.
Stigma. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm nearsighted. I got stigmatism.
But for example, if you're looking at first of all, with certain communities, it's not the simple fact that I'm just saying, in particular, the Black community, that they have the average family doesn't have that outlook where the kid has to go.
Mm-hmm.
The average Black family honestly doesn't. 99% of the time, the family that has that is the kid that hasn't been listening since the age of 16.
I can see that.
And so, to look at the facts, most time when your mama or your dad telling you get out of 18, that's because from 14 to 18 you wasn't listening no way.
And they tired of you.
They tired of it. So, and then when you touch bases on the Asian community and the white community, now I look at that in one sense only. The Black community has never had generational wealth like those two communities. So you factor that in, and that's what makes a whole totally big difference. If you look at the Asian community, they had 200,000 going through different families. The Black community never had that opportunity.
But I can't say that they never had that opportunity because we had Black Wall Street.
We had Black Wall Street. How long did Black Wall Street last?
But do you know why it didn't last?
Why?
Racism, and
they're not sticking together. They always
no.
Yes.
Anytime they take everything from us, we didn't.
Could we not? If we did that, because we did the Harlem Renaissance.
Yes, but
so what we have to do is. The one thing where we always fall short is we don't stick together, bro. Think about it.
No.
From 59 to Highway 6 going straight down Bel Air. That's our Chinatown that they call, right? Okay, they bought up all them properties, and it wasn't originally Chinese properties.
But you got to think about it. It's not us sticking together. It's not. Truthfully, it's not.
Why is it not?
But think about it. Okay, after Germany, how much money was the Jewish people given?
I don't know the dollar sign, but they was paid though.
They were paid. They got land.
Okay.
We did you wrong, so I'm gonna give you money. Now you got enough land to go through at least 10 generations. You get what I'm saying? Now we look at the Black community. Oh, we did you wrong.
We did you wrong.
After that,
we still waiting on our.
But that's what I'm saying. Now
40 acres in the mule.
We struggling for the next.
We want our $40 in a pit bull.
We struggling for the next 40 years, trying to barely carry our family middle class. Now the Jewish community, you just broke them off. Enough land for them to pass through at least 100 generations. That's where they were taught to stick together. We never had that opportunity. So when it comes to, set our kids up right, we never had generational wealth. My grandpa was struggling, just like my dad was struggling. And I'm not saying no, they weren't, but I'm saying for an example. So if you got 3 levels of generations that's struggling. You as my son, what you think you're gonna do? unless you break free and be an NBA player, a rapper, or something like that, you're gonna be living middle class unless you find a way to do better. But that's where it comes from.
But see, here's the thing. When we realize that the working middle class is not okay, that's a problem.
Well, look what Samantha put. She say, when the Black Wall Street was burned down, there was no way to bounce back from that because everything was burned down and people were killed.
Right.
It was divide and
here's
conquer.
the thing. How do you think the Black Panthers came about? How do you think all of these social active groups came about? They came about because of that.
But how did they fall apart?
They always try to divide us. But we never get together unless we're doing a 1,000,000-man march.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Think about it. It starts in the home. How many people do you know that you grew up with? And even at this table right now, you can say it's only 2 people that at this table were allowed. No, we all were allowed to stay at home, but we had rules to follow. We had to do certain things.
I mean, just to piggyback off what you're saying, look what Dan commented. He was like saying basically, how do you make a transition to move out when the family relies on you to pay bills? And
they rely on you to pay bills.
Well, see,
in
my situation, it was kind of that way, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like when I got paid, it was clockwork. And then, I think when I didn't have my job at Kroger no more, she was more upset than I was. I'm like, well, my wife, damn. I want a job too. And then I started working at HEB, and that's when I ultimately met, C-Mac. But like, I was relied on to pay them bills. I helped, put extra money in my parents' pockets, you know what I'm saying? Being a mother with 3 children, you know what I'm saying? At that time, my brother and my sister. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Hold on. I got a question. Did they contribute to the household?
So that at that time, my brother was in and out of jail. You know what I'm saying? My sister, she did. But, my brother he had, situations going on. So they helped. But at the same token, I mean, my mom didn't make a whole lot of money. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, factor that in. And then, it's just, you got to feed 3 kids, you know what I'm saying? And herself, things like that. So it's always tough, So knowing that I was a key contributor, you know what I mean, to that. So I think, as an adult male now, it's like, I do focus on like, making sure that I'm able to provide because I know what I seen growing up and I know how hard it was for my mom and things like that. So I want to make sure that, when it's time for me to be married, that, I can make sure that I keep the family orderly. And if, when God bless me to have children, that, I mean, yes, I want to teach them the value of $1, like you were saying. I'm kind of torn as far as if I want to make them pay bills or not, like not from a sense of where I need it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to like, it's not my fault that I had children, so they got to help contribute to the bills.
If I may,
you know what I mean?
If you're trying to teach them responsibility and the value of $1, that's why you give them the cheapest bill in the house. And if you give them the water bill, which is no more than probably about $40 a month,
yeah,
that's a month. They get paid if they working and they get paid 2 checks.
They should be able to cover it, right?
Right. They $40, that ain't nothing. They're gonna go screw that out. But here's the teaching moment. When your child goes out and makes money, teach them how to save money, open a bank account, do all of those other things financially that a lot of our youth don't know how to do today. All they know is about some Cash App, some the Cash App card chime. They don't know how to go into a bank, open a bank, and then open a bank account. And then,
because a lot of that stuff is far-fetched now, man. It's new age thinking. I mean, a lot of things is electronic. But
that's what I'm saying. It's our responsibility as parents when we have kids to be able to do that. See, Samantha says it goes back to Black people teaching and bettering our children instead of kicking them out at 18. Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I feel like I had a safe space to be able to work, learn, and become a productive member of society, and still, experience various facets of life within that same and I like to call, this bubble that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
My grandparents were older, so they weren't really hip to everything, and it was funny because I did this typical stuff that you do at in your late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
You get your first car, you tint it out, you put bead in it, and then you lean the seat all the way back, and you know what I'm saying? We did that.
Right.
So I mean, they had already raised their kids, and they were helping raise their grandson, and so much homage to them. Because they helped pave the way, which is why I pay it back to them now, because they're in a debilitated state, and I'm always over at their house helping out, doing things like that. But see, those are the seeds that you sow. So they know that it's not no time that they can't call me unless it's dealing with my own kids, and then I'll even still try to figure out a way to kind of shuffle that, but still get over there and take care of what they need taken care of. But when you allow for your children to stay at home, to get stable, and then go out and be productive members of society, they have a better chance at making it rather than at 18, hey, you gotta go. Hey, I don't know what you gotta do. But if you're in the army, and then a lot of people, when they go off to school, that's the big, like, oh my God. If you go off to school somewhere in another state, another city or whatever, and you stay on campus, then you go back home, because now you're having to readjust to those rules that you didn't have when you was. The only rule they have on college campus dorms is that you got to be in by a certain time, and if you ain't by a certain time, hey, you'll figure it out. And that's at least when you're a freshman, because by the time you become that sophomore, you staying in, the campus apartments or whatever, and you living life a whole different way. So you get to pick and choose different things along the way, and then coming back home, it's a whole nother set of the same rules applied, and you're almost a whole year removed. So now it's like it don't really fit. But at the same time, I think more or less is that we need to here's another thing. As parents, if we adjust ourselves in knowing this and being knowledgeable about this and not being so rigid in what our rules are, that we can account for, okay, well, we know you're going off to school, you're doing things that you're not doing while you was here at the house, because I can't see you every day. So it's going to be some things you're going to do that they wouldn't approve of. But at the end of the day, what they wanted to see and what we want to see is that you're moving in the right direction. If you're moving in the right direction, people will do everything in their parents, family, everybody will do everything in their power to be able to help you, as long as you're moving in the right direction. If they find out that you out here, I don't know, like I hate to use this one because it's the go-to move, but not go-to move, but the go-to topic, or the thing that's basically the negative connotation associated with Black families. A lot of men, we get out here and we start selling drugs and doing stuff like that. They know the family don't want to support you, and yeah, you got to get out. Every Black family, when they find out that their kid is, well, I ain't gonna say that because I do know some of them other families, they kids be selling dope. Look, I'm mad at you, but I ain't gonna say just give me some money,
That's why money's the root of all evil, right there.
Facts.
Well, shout out to JP for chiming in right now.
I don't know, because I don't necessarily see it as the Black family just really kicking kids out. If you think about the average kids you see that whose parents kicked them out, the first thing they say was, I didn't want to, why should I listen to my mama? Or like you said, if I'm paying these bills here, I should go elsewhere. So as I get older, I don't see it as the family just kicking you out. I don't see it that way. A lot of people who say that is because, like I said, 18, you're not listening.
Would you? So I'm gonna ask you a question. So if your son or daughter around 14, they just rebels, you know what I'm saying, from 14 to 18, they ain't doing nothing, are you gonna kick them out?
I mean, that's when you get to the point where you gotta tell them, hey, look, I'm always here to support you.
JP, you know what? I'm finna call you right now because I think you're about to make a very valid point, and I don't think the comments is gonna be able to keep up with what you're about to say. Give me a second. I'm about to call you because JP just said that 2 days after he turned 18, he got his eviction papers. So,
So what you were saying, Wise? Go ahead.
And I'm saying that it's like I don't really see it. Like it happens in certain families,
Right.
but that's not the average family. It's not.
I can see it that way. I mean, because a lot of times, like you said, we had to depend on the siblings and the children. We had to depend on them for things.
Because we know a bunch of black people that move back home.
hold on, JP on the line, y'all. Hey, what up, JP? Appreciate you for checking in, chiming in.
What's good? What's good, fellas?
Oh, what's good, JP, my boy?
So,
Yes, sir.
so I just seen that you said that. Oh no, I'm sorry. That Dane said that he got kicked out 2 days after his 18th birthday. My bad. JP, when you got kicked out?
I didn't give him enough time to kick me out.
What you mean you didn't give him enough time?
Because I was ready to go, bro.
See, that's what I'm saying.
17,
When we need 18,
17 I did my shit. When I moved out at 17, to be honest with you.
He moved out at 17. Now,
Yeah.
do you think you were ready to move out at 17?
Financially,
Did
no.
you think you have enough life skills to move out at 17?
So he said financially he wasn't. But then what was the other thing that you said?
Mentally, I was.
Mentally.
So how do you figure you were ready mentally? Because the world be
Mentally,
playing
I
some
was
games.
ready. Well, I mean, the world is funny regardless. Even at adult stage, it's funny. But at that age, I was mentally ready because I just was tired of all the pressure being on me, and there's no real reward behind it. It was more of, basically, hell, I'm a male Cinderella, so to speak. And I was working, going to school, you know what I'm saying? So it was like at the point, it was like, okay, well, if I'm doing all this, and I got to deal with all this, I might as well do it on my own. And that was
your 17
state of
your 17-year-old mind.
Yeah.
So okay, so JP, you got 2 boys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? What advice would you do for them, like when they get to the point where, hey, it's time for them to, would you kick them out? Would you this is what the show was talking about, at 18, what happens? Do they pay bills? Do you kick them out? What's the status when they hit that age?
I put it like this. When you reach 18, it's not kick out. I don't believe in that. I believe you're still too young for an adult type world. Even though the world labels you an adult at 18, you ain't ready. So go to school. If you choose to go to school, fine. If you don't, get a job. Save your money. I'm gonna advise you the best way I can, credit wise, all this stuff. And I'm gonna give you the opportunity to decide when you're ready to leave. There ain't gonna be no 30, 40 years living under my roof, but give you enough time to kind of grow. I don't feel like just shoving them out because they reach 18 or hey, you're on your own. Nah, they're still too young with limited experience.
Do you think kicking a child out at, well, I can say child because they're deemed an adult at 18. So do you think kicking out someone at 18, do you think that that credits to the generational wealth gap that happens with black people?
As far as generational, as far as what
like for example, having somebody that's 18 going out there on their own. I mean, how they're going to make a way for themselves? You know what I mean? In terms of they may not have the life skill set, and that could fall on education or parents or whatever. That could fall on a lot of different areas, socioeconomics. But how clearly in most 18 is subjective because some people at 18 is way more mature than other people at 18. So do you think they're prepared to have a break the generational curse or being able to be a productive citizen being booted out by their parents at 18?
Oh yeah, generational curses can always be broken. That's not something that people should use as a crutch. Well, my daddy was a whoremonger, so I'm a whoremonger. Bullshit. You don't have to be what your predecessor was.
You don't have to be what your predecessor is. You right about that, but your customs and your beliefs come from your parents. Like for example, your favorite food is what your mama made. You didn't wake up eating escargot. You know what I'm saying? Your mama didn't make it.
I get that, but here's the thing: it's just like a lot of people that grew up in racist homes. They not racist. They didn't like that because they knew it wasn't right. So even though your environment is what you're accustomed to, it does not objectify you to be that way. So at the end of the day, it's for me, I feel yes and no. Economically, kicking somebody out is a good and bad thing because you already said it. There are some people that's 18 that are naturally already mature. But in my opinion, I feel it's a higher demographic of those that are immature and they're not ready. And that's where a lot of this fuck up happens. To where, you know, they lean into their environment as far as like crime, you know, drugs, wrongdoing, etc. And usually that leads to you know, being able to a jail death, you know, so.
Okay.
All right, JP, we're gonna go ahead and holler at you later.
Jake Pizzle, my nigga.
Yeah, appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir, yes, sir. I get it, your boy.
Yeah.
All right, my boy.
Stay safe out there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and then Dane was saying that he disagreed with Watts because his stepdad kicked him out and he had to move in with his grandma and his aunt and his cousin.
But see what I said, that's not the average black family.
And Dane younger than us too, so I mean,
again, it's different dynamics. He's just 10 years younger than us.
But here's the thing: that's the general consensus because a lot of black kids move out or are told to get out at 18, bro.
No,
like,
a lot of them want to be out.
No, a lot of them do want to be out. But let's get it clear. A lot of them are being asked to get out. They need to say, look, I'm gonna tell you a lot of stuff that happens in life is because history repeats itself. So a lot of parents, when they were like, well, shit, at 18, I had to get out, you know, figure it out. I had to get it out the mud. So, hey, you 18, go on, get out there, figure it out.
No, a lot of parents sit there and be like, hey, I done told you to do this, this, and this. You still don't want to listen.
I see it both ways too, because I've heard both of them conversations before. Like, I did this on my own, so you got to figure it out yourself. And then I heard them conversations like, you ain't doing it around here, so you need to get up out of here.
Exactly.
I heard both of them conversations.
I'm saying it happens where parents focus on, okay, you 18, you get out, but I see it more prevalent that it's not. It's gonna be more of, okay, I told you to do this, you don't want to listen, you done wreck my car, you want to come in anytime you want to.
Time out, hold on.
Oh, you must be guilty.
Why we had to wreck the car?
Well, I'm sorry, C-Mac.
First of all, I didn't wreck the car.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I might have wrecked 2 cars. So
I'm just saying.
You got the car, get out.
You at that point, think about it as a parent. You caused them. We didn't have to bail you out 3 times.
Nah, that shit.
We done put the house up. You don't want to listen. You're going back to the same stuff to come right back home. And now when I kick you out, you like, oh well, you know, my parents kicked me out. No, you wasn't listening. I say it's a difference. It happens. It's prevalent. It happens when you 18 go.
I can agree with
that.
that.
But I think it's more of at that age we don't want to listen.
Yeah. Because at this point you feel like you know what you know, and your parents are wrong, and you just gonna just be a walking rebuttal because you're not trying to hear what they're saying.
Your parents tell you come in at 1 o'clock and you come in at 2.
So first of all, that started happening like when you was 17, 18, first getting out there, getting your first little smell of stuff. And so I'm you know what? And then it always happens like this. This is the funniest part of how our mind works. If you know you're gonna be late, it's like your curfew might be 12:30. You know you're not gonna make it home at 12:30. It's gonna be like 12:45, so you're gonna be late. Well, I was already gonna miss curfew, so I might well just go on.
You know, that's people in general, man. Like if they feel like I'm already late, might as well start get something to eat for breakfast.
Hey, we used to have this loud alarm in the house, right?
Oh,
so, every time you open the door going in the house, the alarm, the little time thing. So I would open the door, as soon as I hit the time thing, I would run and get a dish towel. And I put it over the little speaker, and I punched the code in, hoping my dad wouldn't get up. But 9 times out of 10, he was already up.
For real, waiting on you to
So one time I was late. I was late, and I called my sister. My sister used to be my saving grace.
Cut the alarm off.
I'd be like, Neek, come and lock the door, because I knew my dad would lock the door. Man, I called my sister one time, and I was like, Neek, come to the door. Before she responded, I had my dad in the background. You better not open that door. I don't want to listen. Let him stay outside. And I was like, dang. So I was like, should I call Mama? Mama saved me. So I called the house phone. He pick up. What you calling for? You don't want to listen? And that's what I say. A lot of times it's funny now because, like I said, I didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
I had rules to follow. I wasn't following them.
Right.
So could I blame him for letting me sleep outside? Yeah, I could blame him for letting that golden child sleep outside.
Wow.
But
you have to sleep outside.
Yeah, it's
Boy had leaves covers.
like I say, I should have been listening.
Right, I get it.
Boy had to cover up in the tarp.
I was looking like Tarzan.
Well, dang, we hit a lot today. I mean, we can go on and on and on about this, but I mean, the facts are the facts. I mean, I honestly feel like we do need to keep our kids at home in order to create generational wealth. If we do the same things like other cultures, we'll help our kids get a leg up. But at the same time, they need to learn the responsibility behind it and not take advantage of the situation.
But not just generational wealth, because I mean, like I said, let's face it. Let's be honest. I mean, public education or education in general just ain't up to par for real life situations.
Correct.
And you 18 and you going out there and trying to get a job or trying to get a house or apartment, whatever you're doing, you're just not prepared at 18.
But you got to think about it though. It still falls back on generational wealth. The reason why the other community could do it, because grandpa done left you 100,000.
Well, no, not even the fact that so here's the thing. When you have this is where we fall short too. As Black people, we're too busy keeping up with the Joneses. Not too many of us own property. So a lot of us did not, like your mom, she owned the house that did not own the house that you grew up in.
No.
Your mom and dad owned the house they grew up in. My grandparents owned the house that they grew up, but that my mom and dad grew up in. My parents did not own a house ever. So the thing about it is, I myself have a house now. So that was the thing that they instilled in me. Is like, look, if times ever get hard and once your house is paid for, what happens? You always got something to be able to fall back on. Now you have equity in the game, because now you can always, okay, well, I'm gonna take a second mortgage out on the house, or or if somebody needs somewhere to stay, are you come? Yeah, like, man, come on, stay, and do what every other race do. Hey, look, I'm gonna let you stay here for free, but just help out, where you can or whatever. I understand you're going through some things, but your thing is not to be a burden on anybody else. So if we were to implement the same things, I guarantee us as a people would be able to move forward exponentially rather than where we are now, which is why we're so divided still.
We see something like that, though, as somebody freeloading, because we think, they're trying to get over on us because, let's be honest. How many of us Black people are going to let somebody stay with us for free? None.
I mean,
kids is one thing, but we're talking about an able-bodied adult, meaning 18 or older. If you're an able-bodied adult, you're not going to stay with me just because. Now, if you're not able-bodied, I get it, like a someone elder or elderly parent, elderly grandmother, I get that. That's different. But if you're between the ages of 18 and 50, and you have got no immediate medical issues that's preventing you from getting a job, and you just staying here eating all the food, using all the AC.
Facts. Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Drinking all the water, showering with all the water, and I got to pay all the bills straight up, and you give me a high five and pat on the back. That definitely don't sit right with me.
I mean, I understand that. I see that, but like I said, I personally think it's not the fact that the community don't stick together. They should. you know, the community, the community been divided for so long, but it's just that we don't have nothing going through our generations.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's what the problem was. You look at any other community, they were given things. You brought up the Asian community, but the Asian community, they get full ride scholarship to come over here and go to school.
Yeah,
You know,
They also got that act signed, but we ain't gonna stop.
I mean, they get that. They get loans to start their business.
I mean,
they get everything they
But
need.
no. But why do they get loans?
Because they're from out there.
No.
I mean, I ain't want to make it sound too bad. I mean, everybody likes
they get loans because they keep the money in house.
No, they do, but at the same time,
they will live beneath their means and then have their kid, like, okay, they'll go out and start a business, right?
One quick question though.
Go ahead.
99% of us are forced to live below our means.
No. They will do it not by force. They'll do it by choice.
Yeah, but at the same time, but think about it though. It still comes back to having that opportunity.
No,
when the reason I say wait, just real quick. The reason I say that is because just say, all right, you 30 now. LB's 30 now.
I'm 30.
And LB is Asian now.
LB Asian.
I'm just saying, LB came and got a free schooling. LB came, got free schooling and a business loan. Now LB got his whole family on because now they work at his business. Now you came over, you came to my school too. I didn't give you nothing, but now you got 100 racks in debt. So now you struggle with you got your kids. Now you struggling to pay off that debt. That's why he's ahead of you, because he has that generational wealth.
No, and JP just said it right now. All other races build their community together. They put back into themselves, and we don't. We don't.
But that's
because see, look, if we say we're gonna start a business, right? Okay, let's say, and all it takes is one generation to help the next generation. It takes 2 generations. Let's just get that understood. It takes 2 generations. If you correct, Samantha, Asians and Hispanics will live in a packed house. Correct. That's what I'm saying. They keep the money in house.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm gonna break that down. Just what she said.
I know what you mean. I know what she's saying.
So if they need to go get a loan to start a business, they will all chip in to go get the loan. The person who has the most credit, they'll help that person get that equity and then go get that loan. Then they'll start the business and put everybody in the family on.
But see, Mac, you're missing one thing. Now you just said everybody in there will go who has the best credit. You take that black family with the same 10 people in there. Who in the heck would have the best credit? The baby, right?
No, but that comes from doing the generational bullshit too.
Besides that point, though, you bring, like with Asians, everybody working. If you got 10 black people, it's going to be like 4 or 5 of them working, and the other 5 going to be trying to support the other 5, and then they're going to get tired of that. Yeah, and that's the problem. You know, if we all did our fair share, it's different. I don't mind sharing bread or breaking bread with anybody as long as you're doing your fair share as well. Like a team project. Yeah, you at work or at school, you're going to have one slacker in that group who ain't doing nothing.
But one thing you missing is it comes from the opportunity that we never had. That's what I'm trying to say. It comes from the opportunity we never had. I agree with y'all totally.
Right. We be having opportunities. Because I'm saying how Africans come over here and Jamaicans and everybody else come over here and do the same thing.
Another question to you guys.
Think about it. They come over here. I'm saying us as Black Americans, we don't have Africans. They stick together.
They stick together
because what they have that opportunity coming from another country.
They stick together. How many? The phrase out here now. The phrase has been going on forever. You work like a Jamaican. You work like an African. You work like they gonna come over here. They gonna work 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs until they get to where they need to go, and everybody gonna pitch in. But we don't have that same concept in our culture.
That's for sure. Everybody
we don't have that same concept.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody gonna work harder. Somebody gonna slack.
Y'all missing my point. I'm not saying that this community don't. We all know the Black community doesn't stick together like they're supposed to.
Right.
They don't stick together. I agree with y'all wholeheartedly. I wasn't disagreeing with that.
Okay.
The point I was saying is to begin with. to begin with.
Yeah.
To begin with, we didn't get that opportunity.
But I can't even say to begin with because because
but
the other black people come over here, they don't have a pot to piss in the window, throw it out of, and they get it out the mud.
But that's what I'm talking about.
They stick to that. They stick to that particular mantra of we gonna keep it in house.
I'm talking about you talking about the black people there. I'm talking about the ones here.
No, I'm literally talking about both sets. I already talked about the ones who.
But that's what I'm saying. They come here and get that opportunity. Fact. Now they stick together. Fact. But that's what I'm saying. It starts from somewhere, right? We came over here. We didn't get that.
Bro, we can start it right now, and we don't.
But here's the thing, though. Watch. How long can we blame opportunity? We are damn near 40. How long can we blame we didn't have the opportunity till we did?
I mean, but then that's the point. We can sit around and say, okay, we blame the opportunity, but we ain't changing it. Everybody can sit there and put their opinion in, but what are you doing to change it?
What should I'm trying?
That's the fact I'm saying. It's not about the community. The community is gonna always be divided because that's how society instilled in the black community. They're gonna divide and conquer, which that it don't work so long. It's gonna be too hard to fix. It's gonna be too hard to fix.
Right.
You know, the average black family is torn apart through the system. The system okays it. The system has no problem with it. You know, I'm not against the community. I'm not saying the community doesn't stick together because if we stick together, we can conquer everything. The only problem is if you look at every aspect in the black community, it was taught for us to be selfish. And the reason I say that because look at what is the child support system basically? It's selfish. What do black people do when they get money? They become selfish. Everything on us has become taught us to be selfish.
I mean, a lot of times they just didn't have the money. I mean, you think about it.
I said the opportunity.
If you had something in abundance, you don't too much care for it if you have it in abundance because you know it always comes. So if you're talking about finances, I get it. But again, how long can we blame opportunity? Because if you've lived your life,
that's the same thing. How long can you blame us not sticking together? It's the same aspect. We got to come together. That's a fact. But at the same time, we got to be given the opportunity.
If we come together and everybody do their fair share, I'm with it. But everybody's not gonna do their fair share because they've been pushed forward since school. Like the same dude that's been cheating on your paper in kindergarten. It's the same dude who's been trying to he get a high school diploma because he been cheating off somebody's paper the whole time. Then he goes to college, if he goes, and then somebody been cheating off him. And if he doesn't go to college, now he's getting supported by the system.
But that brings another aspect because that's somebody allowing him to cheat.
Right.
But like I said, I agree with the black community being, for one, we don't spend our money right. For two, we all taught to be independent, which really makes no sense because everybody needs somebody. I mean, to me, I hate to say it this way, but black people, the only person you hear saying, okay, well, I roll one deep. Yeah, you can roll one deep, but you need somebody in your corner.
Absolutely. I can agree with that. That's
all I wanted to say.
But we just got to be the people to stand in our own corner. So, like I said, we hit a lot today. I want to thank you guys for logging on, tapping in, checking in with us. Really appreciate it. Be back next week. Different topic, same energy, and we'll have our other co-host back. So we know he's gonna bring it. I want to say Happy Mother's Day because Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. So I don't know, when whose mom is gonna check this out, but shout out to all my moms because it take a village to raise a child. So everybody that played a role in raising me, Happy Mother's Day.
Likewise, Happy Mother's
Day to all the mothers, and Happy Mother's Day to my mama. And I guess on Father's Day, Dad, you'll get a tie again.
That sounds fair.
We could have just held off on Father's Day to the next one, and then we could have talked about us because that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, this C-Mac,
this is LB,
this is Watts. So you know the motto: if you like us, raise your hands. If you don't like us, raise your standards.
And we out till next week. Holla.
All right.